It's the law of thermodynamics.
Okay, so someone who exercises a lot and isn't fat but eats more resources, that's wrong as well, the exercise? Or...
I think taking up the resources would be wrong, yes.
But they wouldn't be fat. You do realize that. It'd be of good health, but they're just taking more resources.
Yeah.
Okay, I mean, again, we just have a fundamental disagreement. There's nothing more that we can say there. Hey, how old are you? How old are you?
I am 19.
What do you want to debate?
I want to know how having children is wrong. Like, I've heard you speak about it to other people, but I don't understand it because at the end of the day, it's what we were made for. It's what God, as you say, made us for, to procreate and continue generations.
If you're going to start saying supernatural claims about God...
No, you mentioned God first because I've been watching for quite a while.
One second, young lady. Just relax. Your mic's unclear as well, but I never mentioned God. If you're going to say God did this, then you're going to have to actually prove he exists. Okay?
No, you did mention...
I didn't mention God. I just didn't. You said religion? Yeah, I said religion as in you need to prove it for your argument to have any standing. Hey, how old are you?
I'm over the age of 18. How old are you?
Same, likewise. What do you want to debate?
I want to debate what you believe on suffering.
Well, my friend...
So you say having a child...
That is not a topic. The topic is, these are the topics. You need to pick one.
Hello, bro. Hey, I'm 18 years old. How are you?
What do you want to debate?
You say God is imaginary. Why? Hello?
No evidence.
Please, do not kick me. Why do you not believe in God?
No evidence.
No evidence. Why do you believe in more than two genders?
Because
no evidence. No evidence.
No. That's a culturally agreed upon thing. I don't necessarily believe in more. That's just something that we can.
It's only two genders, man. It's only two genders. It's only two colors, black and white.
Not necessarily at all. The light spectrum is far more
only two genders, man.
Where's your
imaginary is to be I'm a dog.
Wait 1 second, my dear. Well, why are you using red herrings? Stay on focus.
Yeah.
Stay on the point. The God point was where is
I'm
your
on focus, man.
Then where is your evidence of God? Can you provide me instead of moving on to other
I can prove you that God is real.
Okay. Prove it to me. Show me evidence.
God has created us people.
Where is your evidence?
What? My evidence is the word God. Billions of people believe in the name.
Oh my goodness, the appeal to ad populum. Billions of people believe it, so it has to be true. Nope. Just because billions of people believe it doesn't make it true. Hey, how old are you?
I'm 18, thank you.
What do you want to debate?
I have about having children is wrong, but I'm very confused on that point.
Yeah, I don't believe it's morally okay to ever unconsensually bring someone into an environment where they will 110% experience suffering. You disagree?
Okay, then how are they supposed to consent to it?
Exactly, they can't. That's the issue. Just like, would you find grape wrong?
Yeah, of course.
Why is it wrong?
Because you're causing someone harm.
Okay, if I ask someone if I can give them an injection, they might feel a little bit of harm if the needle goes in.
Mm-hmm.
So causing harm is not always wrong in every scenario.
At the end of the day, most injections from doctors will...
1 second, in the case of grape, why is it wrong?
Because you're harming someone and you're causing them...
not harming someone. Not in every case is harming someone always wrong. Okay.
Okay.
So in the case of grape, why is it wrong?
Because you're unconsensually having sex with someone.
That's the trigger word, unconsensually. In the same, I agree, harming someone is also wrong, but not in every case. But harming someone unconsensually in conjunction is wrong. In the case of bringing a child into this world, they don't consent to being brought into this world, and you're causing them harm and suffering unconsensually.
No, but the parents isn't the one causing them harm and suffering.
Yes, they are.
If someone comes into the world and you fill their life with love,
you have to engage in certain acts to bring someone into the world.
Of course, but so you believe that there should be no humans ever born into the world ever?
I don't think there'll be an issue if there was no life. Just like that was the case 10 billion years before life existed. That was no life. I think that's an issue. Who cares?
Okay,
No one
but
cares to care.
yeah, but you don't have the capacity to care if you don't exist.
Exactly. So there's no issue.
Yeah, but then you can't say no one cares if no one's able to care.
Yeah, because there's no one there to care. That's why there's no issue. No one there to suffer.
Okay, but at the end of the day, your argument is you bring someone unconsensually into the world, so they will have harm and suffering. But that's why parents, good parents, try their best to stop their child from having
But
harm
they
and
guarantee
suffering.
will. I agree with you. Good parents would, but they're guaranteed going to suffer, right? No matter
Yeah,
what.
because that's life
Exactly.
at the end of the day.
Exactly, and I don't ever view that as morally okay to unconsensually bring someone suffering.
You keep using the word unconsensually. Unconsensually means, right, that you could, so they don't have a choice in the matter. Okay?
Exactly. Yes.
But if you can't have a choice in the matter, then that means the other way is you can have a choice in the matter. In this case, there's only one. The child can never have a choice in the matter. There's not like he one day he can have a choice in the matter, and the other day he cannot have a choice in the matter. That's why it's done.
Yeah, you're right. You can't have a choice in the matter. It's not complicated. There's no choice in the matter. Just like in the case of grape, there is no choice in the matter.
Okay, but there is a choice in the matter in grape.
What's the choice if you're being physically forced?
No, the grapist has a choice in the matter to not grape a person.
No, but they don't have a choice. But they will guaranteed experience the grape. They can't choose not to. Thank you so much for the gifts, George. That's the point.
Okay. But so you're comparing unconsensual sex to childbirth.
Absolutely. In both situations, you're unconsensually being brought into an environment where you guaranteed will experience suffering.
But the child will experience suffering later.
They're still going to experience suffering.
And the childbirth isn't a traumatizing situation. The grape is.
Again, they're going to be brought into a world where there's a chance that they could be, hurt and be in traumatizing situations. There's always a chance. That's the issue.
Yeah, there's a chance, sure, but that doesn't mean then we should have never been alive.
I
Ever,
agree.
you know?
I disagree. I think that any pain is not good whatsoever, especially unconsensually. Guaranteed having to experience pain.
All right. Obviously, I don't mean any disrespect, but I don't think you actually believe this, man. I've never heard a point like this before, bro.
Pardon?
I've never heard a point like this before.
I know, because majority of people aren't very intelligent. They're sheep. They just follow other people. They can't form their own opinions or think for themselves. So when you actually acknowledge someone who's more intelligent, then you can actually give you rational arguments and reasons for their worldview. You're stunned. You're like, wow, this isn't used to the mindless, low IQ people I experience every day, which is fine. You're welcome. I'm educating you.
So I'm low IQ for.
It's
So
called
I'm low,
antinatalism. I suggest you look into it.
so I'm low IQ for wanting to live.
No, that's not what I said. I said you experience a lot of people who just follow other people and don't ever form their own opinions or look at anything. And so
Okay.
when you actually acknowledge someone like me who actually does, you're actually like, oh wow, this is
Okay,
like,
but if you don't agree with childbirth, then you don't wish you was born. Because you are going to go through suffering one day, or you have before. So you wish you wasn't born because
not
you
in
have
every
gone
case.
through.
In some cases, someone might be happy they were born, but there's always a chance that someone will not have that. And so I don't think that's every morally okay.
Because some people wish they were never born. Everyone should never have been born, is what you're trying to say. Because some people don't like life. Everyone should have never lived.
Yeah, because there was a chance that some people would have regretted it. Absolutely. And they'll go through suffering. Yes.
So are you happy you was born?
Yeah, that doesn't debunk my argument.
So you're happy you was born.
Even in the case where I was, there's always some people who aren't. The point is, it's not about the people who are happy, it's the people that aren't and that they were unconsensually brought into it. That's the issue.
But then if you're talking about those people, you've also got to talk about the other people, the people that are glad they're here. They're still people as well, just as much as the people who are not glad they're here are still human as well.
I mean, unless you're going from like a utilitarian point of view, which is probably what you're going for. However, I would say is that it's still, there's still no consent involved in the matter. Just like if someone was raped and then they were like, okay, you know what, I'm kind of happy it happened. Does that make the grape okay?
No, never. But at the same time,
So just
you're using the word
because some
unconsensual.
people were okay with it doesn't make it okay.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't make it okay. I'm agreeing with you, but then if someone's glad they're born, and your argument is because it's wrong because if someone's born, they are going to have bad experiences in life. But then some people have bad experiences, they're still okay with life. You know what I'm trying to say?
Okay, and some people have been raped and they're okay with it. Does that make it okay?
I've never heard that before, but okay.
Well, in the case where they were, in a hypothetical, would that make it okay?
No. I mean, I'm glad. Obviously, if someone gets raped and they're it's not affecting them too much, I'm happy for that person.
I'd agree.
They're strong enough to
Doesn't
get
make it
through it.
okay. Doesn't make the rape okay though. The unconsensual act of bringing them into suffering. Okay. Right, and that's the point.
I just don't get how.
Well, I don't know how else to explain it to you, man. I don't know how else to explain it to you. I really don't.
Hello,
Hey, how old are you?
I'm 27.
All right, what do you want to debate?
What you was just talking about, like if someone gets raped, how is that wrong? Or even giving birth? How do you compare both of those things? I don't understand.
All right, in both situations, you're unconsensually bringing someone into an environment or situation where they will guaranteed experience pain and suffering.
So when you look at yourself, and you look at your parents, do you, in the nicest way possible, do you have hate for them because they brought you to life? Like what is it?
Me, no, but there are many people who probably would. Or you can ask all the people who self-deleted. They probably do regret the fact that they were brought into the world. Hence, they decided that non-existence was better than existence, as well as plenty of other people probably who may currently be dealing with depression or other mental disorders, who may regret having been brought into an environment.
But that's
Especially in the
mental health, though.
Yeah, I
That's
agree.
more to do with mental health than anything.
Pardon?
So that's more to do with mental health than anything.
Yeah, but people are still going through those things, and that's the issue. They've been brought unconsensually into an environment where they will be susceptible to those sorts of terrible things and pain. And
So have you been through that?
It doesn't matter whether I've been. It's
No,
irrelevant.
because that's the word that you're trying to spread, that we shouldn't have kids. It's wrong. It's all right to have a baby with your brother.
And just listen, the point is that there are people who have been.
They are, and you're supposed to support and help their mental health, not just say, yeah, well, go and kill yourself. Oh, sorry. Go and unalive yourself.
I'm not saying that, and I absolutely would support them. But even if they did decide it wasn't worth it, I don't think it's my place to not allow someone to prefer non-existence over existence. So if they decided to, I don't think that's a terrible thing. It's up to them. It's their choice. Their body, their choice. Do you understand?
Yeah. No, I hear that, but it's just wow. Like, it's just wow. Because
Yeah,
you're happy you're alive.
That's fine, but there's always a chance that I may not have been. And I've still gone through pain, which I didn't want to go through.
We all go through pain. If that's how we're born to create, like, I'm born with ovaries, you're born with like testicles to create a baby. If it was wrong, we wouldn't have had that. Do you know what I mean?
Not necessarily. Just because you maybe biologically, yeah, we're able to reproduce doesn't necessarily make it okay or make it good. Just because we biologically do it doesn't make it good. You understand?
Well, that's what it's there for. Do you know? That's what I'm trying to say. That's what it's there for. Then where you have lungs to breathe.
I agree, but it doesn't necessarily make it good. That's the point I'm making. Just because you can reproduce doesn't make it a good thing to reproduce in every scenario. In my situation, it'll be, but in many cases, I think it wouldn't be good.
That's
Understand?
crazy. It is crazy the way that you think.
You think it's crazy? I mean, that's your personal opinion.
Why do you agree with like family members having kids? Like,
I don't
'cause you
believe
said,
that. In the case of having
you
kids,
said,
I
why
would
is it
say
wrong?
they're okay. Although that even comes with its own grey areas. Just like if I asked you, why would you view it as wrong? But let me ask that.
You didn't answer my question. Why do you think it's right?
Again, in the same situation where any relationship would be right, two people who consent to want to do something, it's up to their choice. I mean, it's their choice.
And you think that's okay, but having kids is not. In
Yes,
that
I
situation,
wouldn't
your
say
child
having
is
kids scenario
your
is
child has
good.
a more chance of having something wrong with him than if you have a child with someone you love, your partner, you're not a family member.
Okay, would you say people who have Down syndrome children should have them aborted?
No.
Why not? The children will be born with some issues.
So
Okay, so in the case of family members, although there's a chance that the children may be born with issues, so
that's not the same.
I mean, it is. In both
No,
scenarios,
it's
the child
not.
may be born with genetic difficulties.
So that's your whole argument. Like, oh, that's crazy. That's
I mean,
mad.
do you have a response instead of just calling it crazy? Do you have a response of like?
I'm lost for words. I can't even lie to you. I'm lost for words. Like that is.
I mean, I know it's a
And
good
what's wrong
argument.
with being fat?
Huh?
Oh, oh no, sorry. You said being fat is okay.
Yeah, I don't think in every scenario it's bad, especially if you're a healthy person. If they're a healthy person, I don't view as bad. Appreciate the roses. Thank you for the roses. But yeah, you understand?
And yeah, the thing is, I still don't understand how you compare it to being great.
Oh my goodness, man, we're just going back in circles. We're going round in circles. God damn it.
Yo,
Feels gracious. Hey, how old are you?
I'm 18.
What do you want to debate?
Having children is wrong. So you say like the child is going to feel what's it called? Like it's immoral.
Mm-hmm.
So is it immoral to not bring a child into this world because of you can have pleasures? You understand?
Good question. I would say that it isn't immoral because of the pain. That's the issue I have. It's not because of the pleasure. It's not the fact that you'll pleasure, but the fact that you guaranteed willful pain. That's where I have an issue with it.
Okay, so isn't that like is there's a chance that the child is going to feel pain and delete itself, like if there was a chance that a person unalives, or like everybody, there's a chance that everybody could like become mass unalivers, so should everybody be imprisoned?
No, that's not the same way. I wouldn't say so. That would just be a logistical nightmare. That just wouldn't work at all. Society couldn't function. There would be no point in operating like that. But you can avoid having offspring. Although I see your mindset of thinking, and I think it's you actually come up with some interesting arguments. But yeah, I don't think that would ever work or be it would be a logistical nightmare.
Okay, that's all.
All right, see you.
See
Appreciate
you.
you coming on. Look at these people in the comments. These lives are getting more out of pocket. He's getting more desperate for the back. Didn't I beat that? Didn't I absolutely destroy him? Bro, do you need to come back up, SM123? Bro, request and come back up. Goodness gracious. I forgot why I kicked you before. Dude, you haven't managed an intellectual concept. What?
Hello.
That makes no sense. Hey, how old are you?
I don't answer questions without my lawyer. Can I debate you on how?
Okay, buddy. Very funny. Goodness me, this dude's been yapping. How old are you again?
24, bro. Okay, listen. I just want to make a couple of points, but I'm not sure you're going to agree, but at least let me say them out loud. Would that be okay?
Be quick with it and we'll go one at a time. What point?
Okay, fine. Look, so you keep saying how you didn't consent to being, nobody's consented to being born, yet people are still living, ergo they're enjoying the fruits of the labor that is specifically from their parents who's given birth to that child. Now, people offing themselves got nothing to do with being the regret of being born is a very, very like oversimplification. Like mental health matters way more in that regard.
They absolutely would.
No, it has. Mental health is more important. If you are depressed, what has that got to do with you being regretting to be born? It's got nothing to do with that. And also, the last thing is, what sane person is consenting to to incest? What sane person is consenting to incest? Let's establish that as well. What do you think about these?
Someone who is attracted to another person.
You're just completely wrong. There's no person that's healthy that you felt. There's no study. Show me a study that shows. Show me a study that shows a healthy person that consents to incest.
Just listen. Do you think homosexuality is wrong?
That's got this is completely different, bro. Listen, homosexuality is completely different. What's that got to do with
Just
this?
answer the question. It's a simple question. Do you view it as okay
This
or
studies
not?
the homosexuality, okay? This studies the homosexuality. That's a separate thing. But
Okay,
where
can
the
you
studies
answer
for
the
incest?
question? Is there,
Where
do
the
you
studies
view
for
it as okay
incest?
or not?
Answer that question, little
Answer
bro.
the question.
Where the
Do
study
you
for
view it as
incest?
okay or not?
You love talking about
Sir, do you view it as okay or not? Can you answer the question?
studies for incest, little bro. Don't run away from me because you're doing a lot of shit talking. Answer the question. Where the studies for incest? Come on. Let's hear
Why
it,
are
little
you
bro.
wrong? Can
Yeah,
you answer
man.
the question?
You're a little bitch, bro. You're a little bitch. That's what you are. Because you can't
Stop
fucking.
crying. Why are you so angry? Just answer the question. Why would you view it as wrong? Answer
Because
the
there's
question.
no study. There's no study that
Do you
talks
have any
about
study
incest
that
being
says
right.
it's wrong? Do you
What
have a
study?
study that shows
Your
it's
whole
wrong?
logic is completely
Do you have a
contradicting.
study that shows
You're a
it? One
hypocrite.
second, my dear boy. One second, my dear
You're a
boy.
hypocrite, bro.
You have a study that shows it to be wrong?
You don't have a study that shows it to be right. You're a
You have a
fucking idiot. What are
study
you
that shows
talking
it to be
about?
wrong?
You
Okay,
don't have a study that shows it
let's
to be
think
right.
about it.
So
Just
you've
calm
made
down.
no point. You have
Lesson
no
1,
point
2, 3.
either.
Just relax. Just listen. Just calm down. Okay? Why do you view it to be wrong?
Because in the listen, all the social media, everybody that lives in the real world, why the hell are you gonna opt to shag your own parents or your own sister rather
Can you
than a
answer the
person?
question?
Answer
Why
that
do you
question.
view it to be wrong? Why is it
No.
morally wrong?
No. Let's talk about what happens in reality, not what happens in your conceptual little.
Sir, just stop being verbose. You're not making sense.
Talk
You're
about
tripping over your
reality. That
words.
makes complete sense. You
1 second, my dear boy. Let's put a muzzle on it.
can't
Just
understand English. That
calm down.
you
Listen.
can't understand.
Just listen. Just listen. Just listen. Why do you view it to be morally wrong? Okay? It's a simple question. Just calm down. Take a deep breath. Why do you view it to be morally wrong?
Okay, look, there's a lot of reasons why it's morally wrong.
Okay, we'll go one at a time. One at a time. Okay? What's the first reason you believe it to be morally wrong?
Listen, bro. Listen. Okay, this notion of you asking questions, thinking that you're right, you're so egotistical. It's crazy. Your ego is crazy.
Why do you believe it to be morally
just
wrong?
egotistical.
One at a time. Just listen. Just listen. Why do you view it to be morally wrong? Okay, one at a time. One at a time. Okay. Just listen, one at a time. No one can hear
Pressure.
you.
You can't handle pressure. You can't handle pressure, little bro. That's why you're stumbling.
Why do you view it to be morally wrong? Just answer the question. Just answer the question. Just answer the question. Just relax. Just relax. Just relax. Answer the question. You need to calm down if we're going to be able to speak about it. Okay? You were starting off well, but now it's getting a little bad. One question at a time. Why do you view it to be morally wrong?
There's more harm than good when it comes to an incestual relationship.
Let's calm down and let's look through this. Okay.
I've just said it. Are you deaf? Can you not hear what I'm saying?
Just calm down. No one could hear you because I was muting you.
You are patronizing, bro. Can we notice how everybody is seeing how disrespectful you are?
1 second, my dear boy.
No. Stop trying to say you're patronizing.
1 second, my dear boy. Where is? Can you show me how it is causing more harm than good? Where?
Sure. There's no incestual relationship in where it's consensual. That's my first point. Second point.
Okay.
There's no study that proves.
One at a time. One at a time. No
Man, Joe, man, shut the fuck up, you little bitch, man. Fuck you, you little.
Calm down. Why are you so angry? You're so angry. You're getting angry. Calm down. You're very angry. Stop crying. 1 second, my dear boy. You're getting very angry. Just relax. You're getting emotional. Just calm down.
Man, Joe, shut the fuck up, man, you little bitch, man.
One you said is that it's not.
You're not smart. You're not.
Just relax.
You're a moron.
Just relax. Why are you so angry? You're raging. You calm down. You're raging. Just calm down. You're raging. Explain to me. You said it's not consensual. How would it not be consensual? Can you realize that in other relationships as well, it can also be non-consensual? So in that case, how is it not consensual?
Oh my god, bro! Honestly, go fuck yourself, you little bitch, man. Honestly, I feel sorry for anyone who has.
Why are you so angry? Are you gonna actually debate? Why stop with the ad hominems? That's all you can do. And he ran away. You just run into ad hominems. Nothing to say. So angry. Hey, what do you want to debate?
Hello. I was gonna talk about. It's the same point, the incest point. Due to the variation, because of the. Sorry. Because genetically, it limits the variation in the population, right? So
I'd
that
agree.
yeah,
No, I would
like that
agree in the case of
increases the
just one second. In the
amount.
case
Yeah.
of reproduction, I would probably say yes. I'd view it as wrong in the case of reproduction.
Okay.
However, even in that case, even if you go on that assumption, I mean, I view all reproduction as morally wrong. But even in that assumption, would you then say having Down syndrome child is wrong? Hello?
I don't think it's wrong per se, as in
Okay. Why would it not
yeah,
be wrong in the Down syndrome case, but in the case of incest, it would be wrong?
because it's if it's controllable, like if you can predict that there will be Down syndrome, then yes, I will actually say it is wrong. Okay.
Okay. I mean,
because like
that's
if you do like a genetic phenology tree, and because you can like predict these things. So and with incest, the
I mean,
recessive
that's an interesting.
diseases.
No, yeah, I understand what you're saying. That's an interesting point of view. I guess a lot of people would say that a lot of people would say, having children, even in the case, even if the child will guaranteed have issues, that it's never okay to abort a child or not have a child, even if you know they're gonna have genetic issues. So, I guess that's
Okay, yeah, and I mean in that case, yeah, like if there is a known issue, and like I agree with most of your points. To be honest, I'm an atheist. I think abortion is a really valid choice, but yeah, it's just that like the genetic variations that can bring more suffering. Like Down syndrome is not an easy condition to live with by any means. So
Right, exactly. And that's the reason why I bring it up is because in both cases, if you have a child, they may have genetic issues. But in one case, you'd say that it's not okay to not have the child who may have issues. But in another case, it's bad because you're having a child who has a higher risk of issues. So that's an interesting dichotomy, which a lot of people struggle with when they're actually trying to say, okay, why is it wrong? And they have no reason or justification as to why they'd view it as wrong.
yeah, I do believe that the suffering in itself is a very harsh thing because you do bring up the good points of being born is an unconsensual concept, and it does limit. It guarantees trauma almost because everyone has some kind of trauma. So, but yeah, with incest, it just it really increases the risk of like the recessive
Yes, if you're having
diseases
children,
that will
I'd
show
agree.
up.
If you are having children, I'd absolutely agree with what you're saying. If you are having children, then yes, of course. But in the case of no children, I haven't seen a reason why.
Okay, in the case of no children.
I haven't seen a reason
Oh,
why.
okay. Yeah, I mean, I guess. Yeah, that makes sense.
It could be disgusting.
In the case
Absolutely. You can find it absolutely disgusting. I'd agree. I think it'd be disgusting. The same way there's certain people who, even of the opposite sex, who I'd find disgusting. In any case, doesn't make it morally wrong just because I find it disgusting. How about imbalances can exist in any relationship as well? Sorry, but yeah.
I mean, like, yeah, even.
I don't know what happened.
Like, there's like the distinct cousins or whatever. Oh, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I think there's like some variations where, if it's just like the reproduction, then yes, that will be morally wrong. But I guess like the relationship itself, it's at the end of the day, it is just a relationship. But
Hey, for all the religious people in the chat, you do realize I believe in some Islamic sectors that first cousins are able to marry, and that first cousins are married. So
yeah.
I mean, hey, you guys
Man, if it's just the marriage, then like I guess there can be like exceptions.
Yeah, and sorry to kick you, but it seems like we agree. So I do want to move on to people who perhaps may disagree. Anyway. He's insane. He's insane. He's so terrible. He's insane. All right, come up and debate me. Oh, I'm not going to come up and debate. And he just shows ad hominems. Like, that's not how you debate. It'll never work. You can never ad hominem someone into agreeing with you.
Hello?
Did anyone see Q-Top join? Like, I actually see what Q-Top doing. That was kind of funny. I was like, oh, Q-Top. Yeah, how old are you?
Hi, I'm 19.
What do you want to debate?
So you have all of these claims. I just want to hear your reasoning for why you feel like having children is wrong.
No, I don't think in any case it's morally okay to unconsensually bring someone into an environment or situation when they will 100% experience some form of suffering or harm.
But in that case, that doesn't mean every single child that's being conceived and brought into the world is wrong. So what's
No,
your...
every single person that is brought into the world will experience some form of suffering.
Yeah, but that's
Guaranteed.
how life is. That's how life
Exactly,
is.
and that's why I view it as morally wrong, because it's inherently going to be suffering, it's inherently going to be harmful, and so when you unconsensually bring someone into that situation, it is morally wrong.
That's kind of stupid, would you not think so?
How's it stupid? Do you have an argument instead of just saying it's stupid?
Well, my argument is that for one, like they can't even consent to begin with because
Right, that's the issue. Why do you view? Would you say grape is wrong?
you can't compare the two. It's
Just
not the
answer the
same.
question. Would you view grape as wrong?
Right, I would say grape is wrong
What about grape makes it wrong? Why is it a wrong act to do?
because one is traumatic. Two, it's not like we both know why grape is wrong. I don't really need to like.
I'm asking you for the answers. I don't know. Can you tell me?
Grape is wrong because it's unconsensual. It's traumatic. It's not fair.
That's the word I'm looking for. It's unconsensual. Can you consent to being born? Oh, she went on mute. I feel like she's going to leave in a moment. Hello? She left. I knew it. I called it. Oh man, life isn't unpleasant. Well, I'm so happy for you if that's the case for you, but that is not the case for many people. Hey!
Hello, can you hear me?
How old are you?
I'm 21.
What do you want to debate?
I just want to challenge the first view. Having children is wrong.
Do you believe it to be okay?
That's irrelevant right now. I'm just going to challenge your point.
Okay, sure. Yeah, what about my point you want to challenge?
So your whole argument is that it's unconsensual and it brings you to an environment of harm, which I understand. But I want to challenge you on that there is the option of unaliving oneself.
Yeah, I don't think that's fair that, you should be brought into where you have a choice between, unaliving yourself or experiencing severe harm. I think that being put in that situation is immoral, to put someone in a situation where that could possibly happen.
So to put someone in the situation where they have the only option to get out of the situation they're in is to unalive themselves is immoral.
Yeah, I don't believe that's ever moral to put someone in that sort of situation. Just like if I said, you can either let me grape you or you can unalive yourself. I don't think that's ever morally, you should ever be in that moral situation. But by bringing someone into the world, there's a chance that they may be in that moral situation.
Okay, I agree with that. But what I want to say about that is that, sorry, I'm trying to think about how to articulate this. So the fact of the matter is the choice is still there. Whether it's unfair or not, the choice is there.
No, there's no choice to being born, is there?
No, not with being born. The choice of staying in the world or leaving the world is there.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So, so your only point is that it's unfair?
Not only unfair, but it's just immoral to bring someone into a world where that's a possibility, where they guaranteed will suffer.
I mean, if something is done unconsensually, but whilst it's being done, whilst the harm is happening, you have the choice to leave, then what do you say to that?
I mean, again, I don't think you should have ever been in that situation, but by bringing someone to this world, you are bringing them into a chance of that situation by them guaranteed feeling harm from this world.
When does the harm start for a child or someone who's been born to this
they
world?
come out crying in the womb, don't they? From the start.
They come out crying in the womb?
Come out of the womb crying.
Do you know the reason for that?
What do you believe the reason to be?
It's shock.
Well, shock, I'd say, is a form of suffering pain. And guaranteed, even if they have no pain, they guaranteed when they grow up, at some point, will experience pain. That's just unavoidable.
Yeah, I agree with that. But I think at the age where the baby's able to make a conscious decision, which isn't until for a while, everything they experience is unconsensual.
Them being brought into the world was unconsensual.
Yeah,
Even
but
after unconsensual things can happen.
everything a baby experiences is unconsensual. Like, you can't ask a baby, "Can I do this to you? Can I do that to you?" So would it be
Right,
would it
some
be moral
unconsensual
to
acts would be
you-
helpful.
wait, let me finish my point.
There are situations where unconsensual acts would be helpful, but that's not even the main point. The point is that in that case, they could not consent to that. And that's the issue. And it's
No.
guaranteed going to cause harm.
Hold on. My point is, if a baby can't give consent, surely you should just leave it to die. Because it hasn't consented to being fed. It hasn't consented to doing any of these actions that the mother does to the baby.
No, but in terms of being brought into the world, I would view that as not having. They wouldn't have a fair. You can't consent to that, and that's the issue. And you're guaranteed.
No, but what about the point I just said?
You've already brought them into the world, so it's irrelevant at that point. Now depriving them and forcing them suffering is immoral. You've already brought them into the world, so it's irrelevant at that point. You've already violated the fact that they couldn't consent to being brought into this world.
Well, surely it's relevant if you're causing them further suffering.
No, because you wouldn't be actually. By feeding them, you're actually not causing them suffering, right?
But they haven't consented to being fed.
You're avoiding that causing them suffering. That's the issue. You're not causing them suffering. My thingy was you're bringing them to a world they guaranteed will experience suffering.
Well, there's many things that cause suffering, such as learning to walk.
And they're already there. They're already there at that point. So it wouldn't.
But we've moved past the birth part. So they've unconsensually been born into this environment. Now they've got to face the harms of the environment.
Yeah, that's already the issue. That's the issue. They're unconsensually being brought into an environment they guarantee feel pain, as opposed to non-existence, where although they won't experience any pleasure, they won't experience any pain whatsoever. And causing someone pain without their consent is immoral, unconsensually.
So does their life just stop there? Like, you have to take into the considerations of your argument. You have to take into the considerations of your viewpoint, and your viewpoint says the moment the baby's born, to prevent further harm is to just leave them unless they consent to something. Because by your logic, before the baby's even born,
and
right?
Way more harm.
Say that again.
By leaving them, you'll be causing them way more harm.
I agree, but they can't give consent. Your point is consent and harm.
Yeah, you bring them into a world where they guaranteed will feel harm without their consent.
Yeah, so I'm saying, right, after
once they're already alive, that's irrelevant because they're brought into the world.
No, it is relevant.
And they can't avoid any pain, and they guaranteed will experience pain. Even if it's not that point, they will experience more pain.
Okay, so what do you say?
This wouldn't have been an issue if they would never been brought into this world.
Okay, so what do you say to someone who, let's say, for example, you used the grape example, right?
Mm-hmm.
What do you say to someone who's been graped, but whilst they're being graped, another guy joins in? It doesn't matter. They've already started being graped. Everything after that is irrelevant, right?
I'd argue it's worse if another person joins, but yeah, the fact that they're already in that situation is a morally bad thing.
So would you say the other person jumping in makes it you by your logic, the other person jumping in is irrelevant?
No, make it worse. They're already in a bad situation, but make it worse. Just like in the case of the baby being born, they're already in a bad situation, but leaving them to be unalive would be worse.
But if we're talking about on the topic of consent, then it's what the baby would want, according to you. Because the baby didn't consent to being born, it didn't consent to being fed.
Not necessarily. They're being brought into a world where they're guaranteed will experience suffering. Once they're already in the world, that's irrelevant at that point. They're already going to feel that, and so unaliving them would actually outweigh the suffering than keeping.
Yeah, but unaliving them would prevent future suffering. That's what it would do.
That is true, but again, without their consent, they may want to live, and so unaliving someone without their consent when they may want to live, I believe it's morally wrong. If they didn't want to live, like
they may want to live, and how would you know that? Would you ask the baby?
Again, we can't ask the baby, and so would you say that because we can't ask the baby, you'd say it's okay to?
It's okay to what? I'm following your logic here. I personally don't believe any of this. This is all gibberish to me. But I'm following your logic here that we need to obey the
You're
baby.
not understanding where you're not making sense is the fact that they are already in the world. That is the issue, is that you're already bringing them in. They guaranteed experience suffering.
So wouldn't
they're already in?
So wouldn't the logical thing to do would be to instantly kill the baby to prevent all suffering and harm?
No, because they're already in the world, and so that would be outweighing the harm and suffering, in my opinion.
No, killing the baby instantly prevents all future harm and suffering.
They're already into the world. You're not understanding. Once you've already brought them in, you've already brought them in. Are you paying attention, my dear boy? It's not difficult.
No, once you've already brought them in, they still can't make a conscious decision until they're conscious.
No, you've already brought them in, so that's the issue. That's what you're not understanding. You've already brought them in.
So what does that? So what?
That is irrelevant. The my issue is you bringing them in without the consent, where they guaranteed will experience suffering.
Yeah, but what I'm saying
is that's what we're debating. Anything else is irrelevant. You're just trying to bring up moral quandaries. That's irrelevant. The point is that morally bringing someone into an existence where they guaranteed will experience harm without their consent is morally wrong.
But there's no harm if you instantly kill them. There's no harm if you instantly kill them.
That's irrelevant, sir. My point is bringing them in. Can you address that point without their consent?
You said earlier, unconsensual acts can be okay if there's no harm. That's what you said. You said if there's no harm.
Just listen, my dear boy. Just pay attention. Bringing someone into the world without their consent, when they guaranteed bringing someone into the world without their consent, where they guarantee to experience suffering, is immoral. Bringing them into the world. Are you paying attention? That's the point.
Yes. But what I'm saying is your two conditions for it being wrong is that it's unconsensual and it's guaranteed harm. I'm taking away the guaranteed harm by instantly killing the baby. So what do you say to that? How is it wrong?
Because in that other case, you're bringing them into a world. There's no pain that they get from not being born. In this case, when you unalive them, there's more pain. It's irrelevant because you've already caused them pain. They're already in that situation.
So would you say?
It doesn't matter my answer to this. Like, this is just a moral, philosophical thing you're trying to do. You're not addressing the point that you're bringing them into the world.
No, I have addressed that point.
You haven't.
Yes, I have. I'm saying.
At all.
Yes, Listen. Your two conditions are unconsensual and harm. Your two conditions are unconsensual.
Bringing someone in from a state of non-existence when they're not, then there is no suffering. There will be no suffering. Guaranteed. Yes. That's the case.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is, right, if you wanna minimize the action of harm, then surely killing them instantly would do that. In fact, it would get rid of the harm.
So you're saying it would get rid of the harm?
Well, yeah, I mean, if someone lives a full life, they're gonna suffer and experience way more harm and still die on top of that than a baby who's experienced nothing.
Do they consent to that happening?
Does who? The baby or the adult who's lived a full life?
The baby consent to that happening?
What, consent to dying?
Yes.
They can't make a conscious decision.
Do they consent to it happening?
Consent to what?
To being unalived.
Do they consent to being unalived?
They can't consent to that, can they?
Do they consent to live?
Do they consent to being unalived is the question. They can't consent to either.
Can they consent to live?
So we give them the benefit of the doubt and be like, we'll wait till a point where they can do that. But in that situation, you already brought them into that situation, is the wrong act.
So if you're saying that they consent to life,
they're already currently in that situation. You could take this as a grown person. It doesn't even have to be a baby. Once they're already in that situation, it's irrelevant. The point is that you brought them from non-existence into that situation, which is where the issue is.
Yeah, but you could say you're denying. Okay, so you could say some babies you're denying the access of life when they consent to living.
I don't believe that gambling with people's lives is a good thing.
What I'm saying is, right?
Yeah, well, just listen, just pay attention.
Okay, I'm paying attention.
Just listen. They may absolutely live an amazing life, but there's always a chance that they could regret the life that they live, as well as the guaranteed fact that they will experience suffering. But there's always a chance that they'll regret the life that they live. Correct.
Correct. Okay. Now,
so if that's the case, then you're basically gambling with someone's life that they may like it, they may not, and I don't believe that's morally okay.
And you're also gambling with someone's life that they may like it and may not by denying the access of having children.
I believe that although with non-existence there's no pleasure, there's absolutely no pain, and I think that's a much better state of existence than although being able to experience pleasure, there's a great deal of pain that you can also experience.
And now now I challenge you. How do you know someone who doesn't exist didn't want to live?
We don't, and that's exactly why I'd say it's a better choice to make than.
So you're denying someone's possibility of existing.
Yes, absolutely, and I think that's a better state of existence, non-existence, than existence with a massive chance of a lot of pain.
Okay, so you could argue not having children is wrong.
No,
you could. It's your argument actually proves the opposite by what I've said. Because your whole argument is based around you're bringing someone into an environment without consent, without harm, when you don't know the consent or you don't know what. Pardon?
Would you view grape as wrong?
Grape is wrong, yeah.
Could someone absolutely enjoy the grape after? And not? No. I think absolutely someone could be fine that they were graped. Would that be? If someone was fine that they were graped, would that make it okay?
No.
Why not?
Well, if it was unconsensual, then it's not okay because they didn't want it to happen.
Yeah, but they were happy with it after.
That's irrelevant to the point that they didn't want it to happen.
Exactly, and that's the point is that it's irrelevant to the point because they didn't consent to it happening. So you unconsensually did it. It even works better if it's an unconscious person. It's okay to grape an unconscious person.
But you've got to look at the flip view. Someone who doesn't exist.
Okay, so you should grape more people in the case that they may enjoy it.
No.
Okay, exactly. So that's irrelevant to the point. It's the fact that they most likely would not enjoy it, and that there's many people who won't enjoy it, and there's a possibility that they won't enjoy it, unless you're making the point that we should grape people because they may enjoy it.
I'm not saying that. I don't know where you got that from.
So that's the point you're making when you say, oh, there's the chance that they could enjoy it. Not at all.
No, I'm not saying there's a chance they could enjoy it. No. Yeah, I'm not saying there's a chance they could. There's a chance that they could enjoy life. They could want life, is what I'm saying.
Yeah, but there's always the possibility that they won't. And
what you're saying, I could
care about the bad.
The analogy you're using, I could use on the flip side.
How could you use on the flip side?
Because I could say, you're denying the birth of children, right? So, because of the possibility that they could not enjoy it. Or you're saying, they could enjoy not existing.
No, I'm just saying that in the case that there's a chance that they may regret it, that it's morally wrong. Thank you so much for the gifts, George. It'll be morally wrong in the case that they don't enjoy it, which can absolutely be the case. The roses confuse me. Thank you so much for the roses. But yeah, that's the point.
Yeah, but do you see what I'm trying to say, though? They could enjoy not existing. So does that mean they could enjoy great?
And I understand the point you're trying to make. However, your logic does fall flat in the case that we just reach a fundamental disagreement. I think, again, you could say that and you could think that. It's an ideological disagreement.
This is a stalemate here. Every point you've made,
yeah,
I can flip
of course,
it.
In any moral quandary, you're going to have stalemates. You will just have fundamental disagreements. It's simple. In any case where, like, in cases, for example, abortion, some people just fundamentally disagree. There's no more that we can go. You can be like, oh, they might experience a lot of pleasure, so I think it's good. I just fundamentally disagree that the fact that there's a possibility of pain, that it's morally wrong. We just have to disagree. Like, as you said, you flipped it another way. We can't keep debating that because, again, we just fundamentally disagree on that. So,
okay, one more point here. Do you think more people want to live or more people don't want to exist?
Good question. I haven't seen any studies for that. But that's a good question. I mean, I guess the only way you could really do that is if at the end of everyone's life, you had them, answer yes or no. Are you happy that you lived or not? So I don't think there's a way we could even do that. Do you understand?
I could agree with that. I would just say evidence suggests that more people do want to exist. evidence being
I don't think viewing people whilst they're living is the best way, because obviously a lot of children having a lot of fun, they don't have much responsibilities. Yeah, they love living, but that might change in the future. But again, the only way you could do it is if you task people after they're already unalived, which is impossible once they've passed away, and be like, hey, did you regret living, or did you happy that you lived? And again, if we did that for all human history, that's the only way that we could really do that, and it's basically impossible because you can't.
think we could use suicide rates as a conversion to see people who didn't want to exist?
Pardon?
You don't think we could use suicide rates to use
Not
that?
necessarily. Someone can not be happy that they're living, but not be happy that they were born and still live. You understand that?
Yeah, I understand that, but
right? So that doesn't really work out.
So why do they keep existing if they didn't consent to it? And if they don't,
because unaliving yourself is very, very difficult. And yeah, it's just very tough. Unaliving yourself is very difficult. People who've survived unaliving attempts can testify that it's a very difficult thing to do. Understandably, like evolutionary, you wouldn't want to easily be able to do that to yourself.